The story of Chugans, seeking true wealth. Hey, let me ask you something. If you risked your life today, braving furious winds and crashing waves, and finally found the legendary ultimate treasure that could grant your every wish, only to have someone coldly tell you when you finally returned, battered but victorious, hey, that treasure you nearly died for, it's a total fake. Gosh, could you even believe it? Hello everyone, and welcome to today's content analysis. Today, we are going to dive into a deeply profound topic that will completely shatter your current perspective on life. Before we begin, I want to proudly give a special shout out. These wise and profound insights are generously provided by the Buddhist Light Association of Australia. Are you ready to redefine your definition of wealth? Let's jump right in. In this breakdown, we are going to unpack a classic Buddhist parable from the Sutra of 100 Karmas by Zheng. Through this timeless tale, we will uncover what true wealth actually means. Today's content is packed with value. We'll start with the mythical seafaring treasure hunt, look at the Buddha's masterful communication skills, and wrap up with a modern psychological framework to help you build bulletproof mental resilience. Part 1. Seeking treasures in the deep ocean. The ultimate pursuit of material wealth. Our story takes place in the ancient and bustling city of Shravasti. A very wealthy local couple gave birth to a boy who was the absolute definition of a winner in life. Born with a silver spoon in his mouth, he grew up surrounded by high expectations. By the time he reached youth, he had fully maxed out his skill tree, mastering all the worldly knowledge and business acumen of his time. Once he came of age, in pursuit of the ultimate material wealth, he decided to risk his life and head out to sea to search for treasure. You have to realize that in those days, setting sail was basically a dance with death. But not only did he survive, he actually found the legendary, boundless treasure and returned home in absolute glory. Part 2. The true wish-fulfilling jewel is right here. The plot twist. When the young man excitedly brought mountains of treasure home, expecting his parents' glowing praise, he found out they had gone to the Jetavana monastery to listen to the Buddha teach. And here comes the ultimate contrast. The son had risked his life through raging waves to bring back a material wish-fulfilling jewel. Yet, when he finally saw his parents, they told him that compared to what they had received from the Buddha, the treasure he brought back was essentially a worthless fake. Wow, talk about a reality check, right? What kind of treasure could instantly turn the world's finest gold and jewels into mere dirt? The answer is the stage of the Srimana Shuddhapana.
To put it simply, just by sitting there and listening to the Buddha's teachings, the parents completely shattered their distorted perception of the self and achieved the first stage of enlightenment. When you are no longer held hostage by a false ego, all anxiety, fear, and feelings of scarcity completely vanish. The supreme mental peace and spiritual wealth they gained made all the gold in the world look pale in comparison. Part 3. The prophecy of the wave Tathagata. From worldly ambition to ultimate spiritual vow. What the young man did next was completely unexpected. Seeing such a radical transformation in his parents, his curiosity was instantly ignited. He rushed over to hear the Dharma himself. The result, he was so profoundly shaken by what he heard that he immediately saw through the illusions of the material world. Developing immense faith in the Buddha's teachings, he not only offered the finest goods to the Buddha and the Sangha for 3 full months, but he also made an incredibly bold vow. He decided he would no longer be a merchant chasing petty profits. He vowed to achieve supreme enlightenment to save all sentient beings still suffering in ignorance. Talk about a perfect evolution from worldly ambition to an ultimate spiritual awakening. The Buddha immediately perceived his pure and powerful intent and gave him the ultimate endorsement right then and there, a prophecy Vyakarana. The Buddha predicted that he would definitely become a Buddha in the future, and even gave him his future name, the wave Tathagata. Part 3. Empathic communication. Meeting people right where they are. The story ends here, but it leaves us with a very practical question as ordinary people. How can we cultivate the Buddha's piercing wisdom in our chaotic daily lives? This brings us to our 4th section, empathic communication. The Venerable Master masterfully highlights a key takeaway for us. We shouldn't just look at what the Buddha taught, but how he taught it. The secret code lies in tailoring teachings to an individual's capacities. And latent dispositions. In plain terms, before the Buddha ever opened his mouth, he would map out your entire background. He would observe your current level of spiritual maturity, your psychological boundaries, and what your heart was truly craving at that moment. He never lectured blindly. The words he spoke were always exactly what the other person was most capable of absorbing right then and there. Ignore what others can handle, and just start lecturing them with our own opinions. What happens? It completely backfires. And it triggers resentment. Not only does your good intention fail to get across, but you might also ruin whatever good habits or goodwill they originally had. We have to be incredibly careful with this. Of course, we don't possess the Buddha's omniscient insight, but we can at least practice being deeply understanding. Next time you want to speak, please suppress the urge to lecture. Try to step into their shoes, understand their situation with deep empathy, and make that your first powerful step toward wise communication. Part 2. Vajra wisdom cutting through delusions. Building an unshakable mind. When you hear the word Vajra diamond, thunderbolt, you might think it's a cryptic religious term. Actually, it's not. It represents a bulletproof psychological framework. How solid is this wisdom? It is so solid that the daily bullets of life, petty drama, anxieties, and relationship stresses will literally bounce right off it. It is the ultimate shield protecting your inner peace. Who is our real enemy every single day? It asks the random delusions, fleeting emotions, and blind impulses that pop into our heads. Think about it. Have you ever let a sarcastic comment from a coworker ruin your entire day? Or made a hot-headed, impulsive decision you immediately regretted? That is the definition of being dragged around by your nose by your own delusions. How do we fight these mental enemies? It comes down to practice making perfect. You have to constantly train your mind, treating right view as your permanent, always on shield. When you become proficient enough, the moment a delusion or a negative feeling rears its ugly head, you can crush it instantly, giving it zero chance to take root. The master's guarantee here is incredibly bold. He notes that if you can permanently put away those delusions and impulses, you can enter the stream of enlightenment and attain the deepest peace. The master even added, I said this, and if I am wrong, I take full responsibility. Wow, that is a massive guarantee, proving that this mental training method is tried, tested, and absolute truth. Conclusion. After walking through today's analysis, I want to leave you with a wonderful question for self-reflection. From this day forward, which treasure will you choose to seek? Will you continue to exhaust your energy out on the rough seas of life, chasing material wealth that could vanish at any moment? Or are you ready to start looking inward, applying empathy and Vajra wisdom to your daily life, and uncovering that indestructible, true gem within your own mind? The choice is entirely yours. Thank you so much for watching, reading, and I will see you all next time.